Welcome to my multidimensional living room. I'm gonna make another energy painting where I'm gonna be tuning into the energy field of people watching this video across time and space. And the energies that speak to me, I'm going to paint, process, and name. If something speaks to you, if something helps you orient yourself, navigate your life, understand yourself a little bit more, then that's great, that's the point. And if it doesn't, if something doesn't sit well with you, if you don't vibe with something, then it might be for or from somebody else. Use your discernment. These energy readings, I notice, tend to be a little bit more abstract in delivery. I intentionally leave not empty spaces, silences as a part of the process of transmuting or transcribing or transferring the energy that I'm painting or that I'm picking up. Before I sat down here, I've been picking up on a really, really heavy energy that I feel like I need to bring into this painting. Whether I paint furthermore with it or if I just have to say what has already been shown to me, because I started channeling before I sat here. We'll see what happens, but basically the energy that I was picking up on was, I'm not gonna lie, was very heavy. I was feeling somebody being in shackles, and shackles of narratives that were shown into their faces, not just from one source, but like from all around. It's like I see somebody standing in one space and everybody around them speaking to them something that feels very opposing to what they in their body feel as to be true. It was kind of like a group talking somebody into doing something. And that energy was particularly the narratives of currently popular spaces of modern mysticism. And within those spaces, it's particularly the narrative that specifically points to the narrative of letting go of people, situations, and circumstances when it happens as somebody outside of you, something that you would perceive as outside of you, for example, another person, embodies an aspect, an unintegrated aspect of you. So if somebody externalizes your shadow, the narrative that I'm pinpointing is the one that guides you to remove yourself from it. Run away from your shadow. Cut it off. Remove yourself. Set boundaries. Shift realities. Run onto the other planet. Break up. Move into another country. And it is packed into love and light, where on the other side of it, once when you do set boundaries and remove yourself, you're expected to be in a reality where everything is exactly as you please. Love, light, unicorns and rainbows and glittery butt plugs, which is basically an escapism. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's alienation masquerading as love and light and enlightenment and unity. And while there is 100% time and space for choosing yourself, removing yourself, setting boundaries, knowing exactly who you are, what you tolerate and what you don't tolerate, and while there is absolutely time and space for that being in place, it is not one size fits all. And what I'm feeling is that somebody is feeling shackled by those narratives that are being overused. It's like, yeah, they have time and space, but they are not a cure for everything. but sometimes they're being used to fill spaces, to fill gaps. When there is nothing coming out from nowhere, somebody will just, insert the well-known old story of just let it go, forgive, move past it, set boundaries, choose yourself, let go so that you can receive something new, shift realities. Yeah. And so what I'm seeing here is a person, if I'm speaking to you, I see you being in what in Croatian we would call it a polygon, which is basically a space where you learn how to drive a car. It's a space where you're not fully in traffic yet. You learn how to move into the traffic. It's a kind of like, it's a simulation of the traffic. It's not real traffic, but still you need to learn how to drive a car. And how to drive a car means how to listen to yourself and your body. And how to recognize your own internal truth versus somebody else's imposed truth onto you, even if it's collective trend that everybody seems to be buying into. If I would be reading tarot right now, there would be a devil card here as the main energy. You are being in the space where you're called to use your own discernment, to put it in practice, to give it a chance, to listen to your intuition, to hear how your intuition manifests in your body, and to honor that first and foremost. And it's heavy because it feels like you're going against the whole collective. And I really sense the questioning of your own self-worth when it comes to it. As a contrast of that energy, did I say everything that I need to say about it? Yeah. As a contrast of that energy, I feel like there is something that still wants to come through. I'll get to that. But I'll now move to the lighter side of it. As a contrast of that energy, I feel like I can recommend the film that I recently watched, and it's called Together. And the film shows three people being stuck together in an apartment during a pandemic. And they hate each other. They don't really get along. They would prefer to be elsewhere. They would prefer to be somewhere, somehow else, but it is what it is. It's pandemic and they have no choice but to be stuck with one another, and they hate looking at one another. Film is very... I can totally imagine some of my very spiritual friends saying, it's not really spiritual. It's very human film. It shows humans living on the planet, not really knowing what's going on. We all know the reality of 2020 and 2021. Nobody seemed to know what's going on, and even those who claim that they know, even they didn't know what's going on. Nobody didn't have any clue how to live. And so there are these people being people and really beautifully showcase what it means to be a human. If you watch the film with the plain value that is provided to you, it's a comedy. It shows normal human life, two humans figuring out life together. But if you watch it with the multidimensional lens, you can see that this film actually provides you way much more than its plain value. The film really shows you what it means to be human, what it means to have love, empathy, and compassion at the same time, while there is hate and annoyance and really ugly truth being spoken out. The film carries nuances. The film shows you that life is not just light versus dark, right versus wrong. black versus white. It's all shades of colors in between. And even though it's not a spiritual film, I think this one single film has spiritual potential big enough to heal all of those spiritual folks who are looking in spiritual places, love and light spaces that are teaching alienation rather than togetherness. It's a really beautiful film. I absolutely recommend watching it for that reason, because it shows what it means to be together and what it means to navigate all spectrum of emotion. And it's a really beautiful example of something that is non-spiritual, that happens to be more spiritual than a bunch of spiritual folks that are holding dominance over you in non-physical spaces. I'm literally seeing this energy. It's like you're standing turned back to the wall and somebody is standing on top of you, putting a hand or like the whole arm on top of you, above you, and speaking to you from above. Okay. I wish you best of luck with this. I am going to now focus on to this painting and see what else comes up. I would maybe normally do this in a video that I would call Tetris, where I can just speak without using any props. But I decided to paint. And really, it was one of those energies that you just, you know, it comes to you. And you really just want to let it out of the system as soon as possible. I don't know about you, but sprinkling blue onto the canvas is very like taking a shower. Ask yourself if you really trust yourself unconditionally. Are you really good on your own? As you think you do, as you think you are. Are you really, like really? Also, another thing that this film really beautifully represents is how crucial and really important it is to have open, clear, honest, like deeply honest, raw communication with people around you and yourself. And how that takes you way much further than cutting people off at the first glance of something shady or something that is labeled as negative. Also, I was getting the energy in one of the previous paintings that I've done, and it comes back up again. And that is this energy of silence, and how silence makes your energy field ground itself and structures itself. It's kind of I'm missing the word, but it's basically the process of stone being created. Sediment. Your energy field can sediment itself. Things can fall into place for you, inside of you, when you spend time in silence. And when through silence you can learn to cultivate the hygiene of your movement, where you have clear intention of what is it that you're going to do, and then you do it. You apply yourself. You don't waste energy on non-silence. And that is that you have to go there, but before there you allow yourself to be distracted here, and then something comes in here, and something comes in here, and something pulls you back. None of that happens. This is also something that you can practice through. I'm not telling you what to do, but it's something that is practiced through Qigong, and that is this unity of movement and breath, mind and body. There are energies that I cannot articulate. They don't speak, they're not meant to be spoken. Oh. I'm getting the energy of nail polishes and pearls and Christmas ornaments and a lot of do-it-yourself crafty stuff, like putting pearls together and then sewing, collage. A lot of this, and it's as if I feel like I'm in this studio where there's like a lot of crafty stuff that you can implement and create something out of something, like collage and these pearls, and then you can put them all together and create some artwork or something useful. And nail polishes. Basically a lot of small practical stuff that brings some sort of sense of mini actualization, expression. Creativity. that kind of stuff. I get that energy. And I get that energy spilling out. I see what's going on. Sometimes when you are about to take off, when you're about to create something that you've never created in your life before, something that is brand new to you, and something that is really of high importance or high magnitude, then there is another aspect of you. If it's not in line with where is it that you want to go, it will go against you, and it will externalize itself as something that will metaphorically knock on the glass of your reality and be like, are you sure you want to be there? Are you sure you want that? Do you really believe in yourself? And this question, do you really believe in yourself, can come very early on in the stages of development, and later on as you become really aware of it, and it is something that it seems like you're already mastered, then the same energy can transform itself and take another shape and another form, and can come to you in another sneaky way to ask you, do you really want that? It doesn't ask you, do you really want that? But it shows itself in the form of an obstacle, in a form of somebody imposing their will against your will. But in a big scheme of things, it is an aspect of you that is trying to protect you from being unsafe in the territory where you've never been before, but you're going for the first time. So the reason why something is impeding onto you and trying to make you doubt yourself and make you go off course is because you're on the other side of that is I don't want to make it sound cheesy. Creativity expressing itself, it's creativity creating itself. It's the process of creation that comes with a whole variety of benefits to it. Even if you've already been through that process, you know, it's like new level, new devil kind of a thing. It will always come back around and shows itself in a different way. Not always, but sometimes it still does. I'm also getting the energy of I'm seeing the narratives being seasonal, where you really, not just that you need to learn how to trust yourself, but you also need to learn how to, or maybe you don't. But sometimes what is presented to you that is for you, there's also business behind it. It's world. It's life on earth. And some of the narratives that are currently popular are actually popular because they're profitable. And so to hear a narrative that is being shown into your face, that you have to let go of something because it's full moon, so you have to let go of something, is equally as if you're about to go to Netherlands and they tell you, you have to eat cheese, you have to smoke weed, because you're going there. If you go to US, they're gonna tell you, you have to try hamburgers, you have to eat fries, you have to eat fast food. If you go to Germany, they will say, you have to eat pretzels. But it's very stereotypical. And that's how the narratives are. They're not stereotypical, they're seasonal. They come with territory. So if you find yourself in around full moons, you will hear the narratives that you have to let go, which might as well apply to you, and might be very organic, and might be very supportive, and might be very synchronistic, and might be very confirming to you. But first and foremost, but when that's the case, there is like an internal knowing. It's an organic realization. And when there is a time to let something go, it dissolves by itself. Nobody needs to tell you what to do. There is something about organic. To find a more comfortable position. There is something about organic versus synthetic realizations and development. There is something about going with your own natural flow and rhythm and syncing that with the natural flow and rhythm of the collective, of those who lead and those who follow. Okay. I want to be honest, it happened a few times that some of the information that is coming to me through this painting or through energy painting is very mathematical. And I feel the need to go back into learning mathematics to know exactly which terminology to use and how precisely to describe what is it that I'm seeing. So I might take some mathematics classes or something. I'll find a way. Speaking of mathematics, some of you might be in the process of realization that what you were projected on as a child is actually exactly the opposite of who you are. And one example is when you're being told that you were, as a child, that you're not good in mathematics and you don't really like mathematics as a child, but then you grow up and you realize that actually mathematics is quite cool. And that you're not as stupid as you thought or as you were told, and that in fact you would be a great mathematician if you would just given the right to come to terms with mathematics at your own time and at your own pace in life. picking up on the energy of somebody who had their... This is metaphorical, it might not be mathematics, it might be cooking, it might be painting, it might be something, but I'm gonna say it because it sounds fun. Your mathematical awakening happened to you at the age of 23 when you already finished university in literature and poetry. And then you realize that actually you have a thing for mathematics, but it had to come to you at a certain point in time, not at a time when it was imposed to you by the system. And that was that at the age of 7 you were already supposed to be a genius. And you were not. But it doesn't mean that you can't be a genius even if you pick up mathematics now. So much joy as I'm speaking about it. I'm gonna drink a little bit of ginger water. A song came into my head right now, and it's possibly maybe from Björk. There's a sound of the phone, not ringing but calling. Does it happen to you that you can hear the signal of a phone calling across time and space, sometimes even in a public place, where you feel it very, very loud, to the point where you realize that you don't even know where is it coming from, but you hear it? Is this happening to you? I'm withholding something right now because I feel like I'm not supposed to share it. At least not for now. In terms of why is the phone calling? Why is this sound showing up? When I asked, checked, are you really good on your own? I hear the lyrics of the song. As much as I definitely enjoy solitude, I wouldn't mind, perhaps, spending a little time with you. Sometimes. I've been saying earlier, I didn't say it because it didn't make any sense to me at this moment in time yet, back then. And that is the connectivity. And then, oh yeah, did I say it? Synthetic versus organic connectivity. We as humans, we're wired to be social animals. Did I say that correctly? We are social animals, but we are wired to seek connection. I think that's what I wanted to say. And we love synchronicity. And we love to see how connected we are to others. And we love the feeling that we get when we recognize something within ourselves and that is being mirrored externally through somebody else. We love that. Even if it comes in a synthetic form. I feel like I'm touching on a very humanity wound of the humanity. It's like sad but true that we're being I feel it in this shape. Being pulled away physically and in all possible ways from one another. And it created wounds collectively on an earthly level. There are collective wounds of separation between one another physically that we're trying to mend ourselves with synthetic connection. But even if we're in isolation, even if we're separated from physical humans, we still look for connection. It's still the connection that drives us to connect with AI, to connect with social media, to connect with non-existent beings on the other side of the content, to connect with an illusion of somebody being behind this digital interaction. It is still connection that is driving it, the need for connection. I don't feel like I'm bringing absolutely anything new to the table of humanity conversations, but that's what it's coming through. And that collective wound is what fills this popular narratives. It is a little bit disheartening. I don't know if this is needed to say, but even people who live so deep in isolation with themselves that the only people that they speak to are cashiers, even if no matter how isolated you are, no matter how much time it passed since you had a genuine conversation with another being, or a deep, meaningful, soulful relationship, you're still part of the collective. Whether you know it or not, whether you want it or not, whether you like it or not, and you're playing a collective role in navigating these energies that are moving through the planet Earth. Whatever you do or don't do still matters. I have connected two separate paint marks. I feel the need to finish this painting. I wouldn't like to enter the dystopian conversations that this painting presents, invites into. But at the same time acknowledging that dystopian reality must be part of the conversation in order to create utopian reality. Because if it's not, then is utopia really utopian? Just like love and light, is it love and light if it really rejects something that it sees as bad? Thank you for being here. Thank you for co-creating this painting with me, with your energy and awareness. It's been a pleasure. If you're looking for a painting for your living spaces or your working spaces or for your museums and galleries, that would be created with energy reading, or if you just need something to put on your wall that has a little bit of gravity to it, link for my painting, for the energy painting, is down there in the description. Other than that, I do have other paintings. And if you want big scale paintings, whether they be energy paintings or... I think all my paintings are energy paintings, to be honest with you. It's what you get. If you need or want big scale paintings, write me an email. Other than that, thank you for supporting the channel, thank you for liking and subscribing, thank you for being here, thank you for being you. I wish you all the best with this. Ciao.